station out there, W7AW or something here. Go ahead, sir.
Alpha Bravo Whiskey. I thought the information on the dipole was great. I was working on that myself. It was pretty easy to throw.
And there's so much fog. Not doing so.
And my 40 meter. My 40 meter is pretty good. I got it about 1.2 across the band, and I don't know that if I could get it any better than that. So anyway, I think that your information is sound, and whoever is listening, I think can do better with that information.
Roger, what's the call there?
Whiskey 7, Alpha Bravo Whiskey. Handle on this end's Bob, Rolla, Missouri.
Bob in Missouri. Roger, Roger. And Bob, what kind of antenna are you running today? Our radio, I'm sorry. I got antennas on the mind. What kind of radio are you running, Bob?
I have a, sorry about that. I have an ICOM 7300, 100 watts on my resonant tripod, 40 meters. I've been piggybacking on the 80. I can 20 actually does better on the 80 than the 80 does as far as resonancy. But resonant 40 meters, and I couldn't be happier with it.
Roger, Roger. If you would, why don't you give me about 15 seconds or 10 or 15 seconds. Tell me about that antenna system, and I'll see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
So it's, I got it stretched, and the, about 32 feet in the air. So, 63 feet, 32 feet in the air, I'm a little compromised because in the trees, I don't think trees end up being a problem, but the housing sure is kind of locked in here, but I don't seem to have any problem visiting. If I can hear you, most of the time I can hear you as well.
Roger, Roger. I've got 5 SDRs, and I can only copy you on my local antenna. None of the SDRs can I pick you up. I can hear you back in there, but I can't quite pull you out. But I do have about 3 dB over my noise level on my local antenna. Roger.
Roger. You're a solid 5'9" here in Missouri.
Roger that, Roger that. Well, normally we do setups on this frequency, on this channel. Just curious if you are familiar with your frequency bandpass, your transmit bandwidth, TBW. It's a selector that governs how wide your transmitter is, and usually that 7300 has got 3 positions, wide and 2 lesser, and we suggest for best operation to be in that wide 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. Roger, TBW.
QSO? That's exactly where I'm at. I find that sometimes if I'm doing any contest, sometimes I narrow it up a bit just to kind of see if it gives me any advantage of trying to bust through the path. I don't know. I guess in theory maybe it works, but I can't tell you for certain if that works.
Rogers. Well, the thing is, when you start working in those less band passes, then you're actually rolling off the top end. And the syllabic range has all of the articulation, which you need drastically when you're in a pileup or, you're working a bunch of QRM in with that signal. You need all the intelligibility that you can get. So I do recommend that 100 to 2900 in all eventualities, because you want to be heard, and that will let you not only be heard, but will help you be understood, and that's the most important thing. And if you just follow that down to its logical conclusion, if you start that bandpass down around 27 to 200 or 25 to 300 or something like that, and work your way on down, pretty soon you're Mr. Mumbles, and so that's just what's happening to you by by degrees as you come off that 100 to 2900. So I do suggest the 100 to 2900, which lets you operate that transmitter at its maximum capabilities, and then just gives you a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's conversation. Roger?
QSL. I know there's lots of research on how to set this up, and in the beginning I just thought I'd just, trial and error, and I've had a few of the brethren out there that were gracious enough to make suggestions, and I picked them all up on it. I think that in your infancy on the broadcast waves, probably everything you want to turn your dials all the way to the right. And I find that everything in moderation probably is better to start. But I tried to fine-tune it, as far as compression and mic gain, and try to get it as pleasant. I want it to be as pleasant for you to listen to as it is for me to talk.
Roger. Well, if we'd follow on with the setup there on that 7300, we go to that compressor, and usually we suggest a 3 on the compressor. It's something that you'll never really hear on the air, since it's only a third of its capabilities. But the thing is, it does its job. Like a 3 and a 6 are the same, except the 6 gives you suck-up. As far as actually working on the word, a 3 and a 6 are about the same, except the 6 gives you suck-up after the word, which doesn't do you any good. So we suggest a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, just depending. Well, on that 7300, it would be a 3 out of 10. Roger?
QSL? Yeah, I figured out how to pass by listening to with my own, I kind of came up with a sentence that I like to listen to, or like when I read, and it's Tony Packer hits a pack of pickled peppers. And I know it sounds kind of silly, but I drive my phone home. If you're another on the RP, you're getting a lot of another on the RP, then drive sometimes. I haven't changed it for a while. Nobody offered up any suggestions, and nobody certainly learning curve. I first got my ticket in the latter part of the 80s, and then, of course, life happened, and gosh, my license expired, and pretty soon 20 years have gone by, but now I find the time, and I still have the passion, although my station is quite a humble one, it's adequate, and I'm having a blast.
Yes, sir. Well, it sounded pretty good. One other point to check would be your modulation level set, and that goes by your ALC meter. You go to your ALC meter with mic gain in hand, and as you say the word audio, adjust your mic gain until your ALC meter is running 2/3. 2/3 is the sweet spot. As you say the word audio, don't stress it, just say it, and adjust your mic gain to your ALC meter is showing at 2/3. Roger?
Your mic gain to your ALC meter is showing at 2/3. Roger? QSL. That, well, this is my normal conversation. That's about where it's at, actually. About 2/3 on the red scale. Progression is at 3, that's what I've had. And I haven't adjusted the mic gain much anymore. Set right at actually about 88%. I got a high ICM, and my comfortable distance from it is all about 6 inches or so. And it seems to be something.
Yeah, roger that. And then we suggest just leaving that ALC meter out and be monitoring that ALC meter as your main monitoring point, and try to keep your voice in that sweet spot. That ALC meter is showing you just exactly what's happening to your radio, and you know, you've got to have something to do as you talk to your friends and neighbors around the world. So if you have that ALC meter out, just you know, use your voice to try to keep yourself right in that sweet spot. Roger?
Keep yourself right in that sweet spot. Roger? Yeah, without the fear, I don't think you get a lot of fire loads. I don't get out there. I don't, it doesn't drift back and forth, but it stays in there pretty good. I don't know.
Finesse, but it still
raises up and down. Sometimes my passion overrides it a little bit. Basically it works out. I'm sorry, I didn't get your call in. Could you repeat your call again for me, please? And I'll put it in. Whiskey 7, Alpha Bravo, Whiskey 2.
Roger, Bob. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. This is the Qso-Vlog net, and we're located down around Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the mighty Ohio, right at Louisville. Roger?
Indiana side of the mighty Ohio, right at Louisville. Roger? Okay, please. The band changed a little bit. You're about 40 over 9 now. That's good. I'm sorry. I was a little slow on the copy. I did get the Kilo Charlie 9. What was the...
Roger, call sign is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. And I repeat, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. Name is Jim, Juliet India Mike.
9 Victor Kilo Victor. Name is Jim, Juliet India Mike. Thank you, Jim. Thanks for being patient. I'm working. I mean, all of this, there's an awful lot, but I am getting better at least grabbing the laptop. I have, well, I'm not going to say that I've done now. And try my best to get everything logged in there. That's very good. The band's been kind of funny today. It was really quiet for a while, and then I seemed to open up. 10 meters was the thing. I had a friend said, hey, 10 meters were opened up, and I got in there and visited with a gentleman down in Argentina, and just like you are, 20, 30 over 9. And he was operating just 100 watts himself.
Roger, Roger. Well, I do wish you would have something back in the corner there that would do, 400 or 500 watts. It really would help. Like I say, I've got you're just a couple of decibels over my Kentucky SDR. I had to go away from my local antenna and pick up a Kentucky SDR to copy the mail on you, and then you're only about 3 dB over their noise level. So, but we don't get a lot of traffic out of Missouri. Roger, Roger.
We don't get a lot of traffic out of Missouri. Roger, Roger. Belgium. Understood. I haven't quite figured out how the SDR works. I know there's one in Georgia, and I stumbled on one that is in Utah as well. So, well, it's pretty much self-explanatory. I'll have to experiment with it and see how it works. I haven't done any of it yet. I'm aware of it and know of a couple of stations, and that's all. But I'll see if I can incorporate that into the project as well.
Roger, Bob. Well, SDRs are internet oriented, and you go to there's a bunch of them across the United States and across the world, and they all have different IDs that you can go to, IP addresses that you can go to, select, and then it's just like a radio. You can dial up the frequency and you can dial up the volume, and then you can use that to monitor folks. Just like listening to your regular radio, and then you have a switch that mutes that when you talk, so that doesn't go out on the air. And when you unmute, that receiver comes back into your audio. You have a little audio amp there, and it comes back into your audio amp. The audio out of the SDR receiver comes back into your amp, and you hear folks from that location, wherever that internet SDR location is, Roger.
Wherever that internet SDR location is, Roger.
So then your transmission is repeated back to you, or as you're able to listen. That ought to be just about as good as anything as far as setting yourself up. It would be nice to hear. My 7300 has that capability as far as monitoring, but I find that, I don't know. I think it probably could use a little bit more to be desired. I don't have it on ever, but I've used it a couple times just to see if I was actually transmitting, but I haven't had it on since. But I'll get on there and find those SDR.
Roger, Bob. Yeah, well, it's usually pretty good there. You can find, like in our case, we're running 5 different internet SDR locations on a rotary 6-position rotary selector, and the number 6 position is our local receiver. So we have all these audio capabilities on a rotary switch that we can just run through and find and they're all on the same frequency, so we can just find the quickest one in about maybe a second or 2 seconds. It's really easy. They're all the same level, and you just go through, and usually I listen to background noise just as I go from one to the other, and I can really, when you hit a dead spot, boy, that's usually the best one, because they've got it nice and quiet, Roger.
The best one, because they've got it nice and quiet, Roger.
Yes, sir. Understood. I'm going to look into it. I'm going to have to skedaddle out of here. I was walking by, and I was actually spinning around and going down to 184, and stumbled onto that little bit of oration on the resonant dipole and it's just interesting. Both, and I can attest that just because it's quiet and things, if it stays your radio, that's for sure. But it's cool enough, but I find that the attenuation is very efficient on the 7300, and if you want to have that capability of utilizing everything that this 73 has to offer, then I think that you have to have resonant antennas, that's for sure.
Roger, Bob. I've always ran a resonant antenna. It just bypasses the middleman there as far as the antenna tuner. It makes life a lot simpler. Of course, I have separate antennas for a lot of the different bands, and they're all cut for the center frequency of the different bands. And so if I want, say, 20 meters or 10 meters, I've got an antenna for that that's already cut for the center frequency in that band. A lot of folks, I guess, do not have the property to be able to do that, but if you can run a 40 meter antenna, probably you can run the higher frequencies, because the distance is less on those dipole antennas, Roger.
Because the distance is less on those dipole antennas, Roger.
Correct. And I do have, I have a vertical that is about 48 feet in the air, and my two dipoles, my 80 meter /20, and then my 40 meter. 40 meter, I lucked out. I only had to trim up maybe 3/8 of an inch on each end, and dial right in with the analyzer. And I did, it made sense. There was a little bit of a difference on what I was seeing, and I think it is due to the fact that the analyzer doesn't have a load. And once I got it in line, actually was translating and putting that antenna under a load, and it did change the properties just a little bit. Not a whole lot, but enough that you would notice.
Roger, Bob. Well, let me let you go there, sir. It's been a pleasure. I hope that if you want to hear your radio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording, and it'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3,000, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow, Roger.
And I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow, Roger.
Well, thank you very much. I'll definitely do that. And Jim, I hope that we can catch each other further down the van. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for the QSO. That's really my cup of tea. I'm a rag chewer, and 30 years on a railroad. Although my ticket expired. I've always been blessed with my employment to talk on the radio, and I've done a lot of it. But 70 years old now, I have the time, and I sure enjoy the heck out of it. Working on my extra class privileges as we speak, and hopefully I'll have that knocked out of the way here shortly. Once again, it's 73. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to catching up with you somewhere else.
Roger, Bob, 73 there, sir. You have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. If you get a chance, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.